Hey everybody, Josh VZ with VZ Cleaning Services here. I'm gonna make kind of a different video than I normally do. I've been seeing a lot of posts on Facebook about people just getting outrageous electric and gas bills. And a lot of people don't know that you can actually shop your supplier for your utilities. So I wanted to take a couple minutes to explain that. I would get a copy of your electric and your gas bill out. Probably a calculator would help. Um, I print stuff out because I'm old and I like to look at it and read it. But you might be able to just pull it up on your computer while you watch this. But go ahead and pause this video real quick. Electric and gas bill, pen and paper, and a calculator, and we'll sit down and we'll get this figured out. All right. So basically, I want to explain how you can shop your provider. So this doesn't really make sense to me. For example, Ohio Edison owns our telephone pole lines, but we can choose who sells us electricity through their lines. So how somebody from Texas can sell me electricity in Ohio beats me, whatever, but they can. And same thing with natural gas. Enbridge now used to be Dominion. They own the gas lines, but you can choose who provides you the gas through those lines. So let's do our gas bill first. So this is the second page of your gas bill. If you look at it, you're always going to have a charge from your distributor. So I keep wanting to call them Dominion. Enbridge distributes the gas, they own the lines. So this part right here, this 74, whatever it says, I can't read it backwards, you're always going to have the charge from them. So for example, I was 74.86. Part of that is $46.62 just to be a customer. Then they charge you per MCF that you used, which is how natural gas is measured, kind of like a gallon of gas for a car. MCF is how natural gas is measured. They charged me $26.20. So no matter what, you're always going to have that charge. What we're going to focus on is this second portion of the bill, which is the rate that you're charged for how much you're using. So everybody's is probably going to be a little bit different. I use a higher MCF because I have a shop that I heat to. But for example, I used 33.5 MCF at 5.187 per MCF. So that's $173.76 plus tax because I got to get you there too. Makes it 185.49. So I used 185.49 of actual natural gas, but I also have to pay that distribution charge of 74.86 just for being a part of the game. So that took my gas bill to 260.35. So we're gonna go over here and bear with me on this video. I'm not a videographer or a news anchor. It's gonna be raw and uncut. When I'm done with this, I'm posting it. The advice is what you pay for, so take that into account. But I need to share my web browser. Okay, so you're gonna Google Energy Choice Ohio, apples to apples. Click on the first one, it'll say that has little apples. So we'll do natural gas, excuse me, we'll do electric next. So we're going to click natural gas. We're doing for residential. And then you're going to have to select who your provider is. So for me in my area is Enbridge. Maybe you're down in Columbiana County, you'd be Columbiana Gas. And this is all for Ohio. I don't know how it works for other states. So you'll have to figure that out. But we'll scroll down here and I always filter it. Now it's going to give you examples here. So you'll have a fixed rate, which is the rate that you'll receive for that term that you select. I always recommend a fixed rate. A variable rate changes. So for example, long story short, I switched over from propane to natural gas. Well, I should have paid more attention. I thought I selected a natural gas provider and I didn't. So this past month, I was charged 5.187 per MCF. Last month, it was 4.924. In the previous month, it was like 3.7 something. So I'm on the market now. So it's market rate for whatever's being charged. So I'm not locked into a provider per se. So it's charging me whatever market rate is. So that's my fault. I should have done this a couple months ago when I wasn't paying attention. So um, I always filter it. If you go right here, you can filter it by the cheapest price. So you'll see this, whatever gas and power is 1.59 per MCF, but that's variable. I don't like variables, so I'll scroll down. Here's Santana Energy Services, 2.89. It's fixed for 6 months. So once your 6 month term is up, they don't cut you off on gas. Santana will send you a renew letter and they'll say, hey, this is what the new rate is. You can go for companies that will do 12 months. Like that's 3.79 for 12 months, whereas they're 2.89 for 6 months. So you kind of roll the dice. Will the natural gas be cheaper in the summertime? I'm going to take my chances and say it probably will be. So personally, I would pick the 6 month route. If you don't want to screw with this as much, maybe do the 12 month. But you'll see here termination fee. So if you cancel before that 6 month period is up, they'll charge you $100. So it's nice. Everything is listed, the company, all of their terms. You can select details. Some companies, my neighbor signed up, they give you, I want to say it's a $50 gift card a month. There's all kinds of different things. I just actually called Santana, and I'll get into this later, but I called them and they can actually bundle your gas and electric so you can get a cheaper rate. So it's kind of a little bit of digging, but for example, if I go with them, that's going to save me $300 to $500 in the next 3 months. So, I mean, that's a lot of money. But to get back into it, we'll use Santana for example. So they're 2.89 MCF, whereas I was paying 5.187. So I used 33.5 MCF. So 33.5 times 2.89, I would have used $96.82 versus 185 because I'm on that market rate and I'm paying more. It's kind of like gasoline for your car. Sam's Club's always cheaper, than maybe a different gas station. So you're just picking who's cheaper. So um, you can scroll through and see the different options. Here's that higher rate, but it's 12 month. Here's a little bit higher rate, 12 month. Now this one is 12.5 cents per month. So what I did with my electric, for example, is very long story short, they claim I'm using an absurd amount of power. I could be powering 2 or 3 houses for what they say I'm using. That's a whole nother thing. Um, but I selected an electric provider where I paid, I want to say it was $9.95 a month, but that gave me a cheaper rate that I could use. So I did the math, and you're gonna have to do a little bit of math on this, but it ended up being cheaper for me. Um, but just for example's sake, like that Santana, that would save me over $100 a month. So you're looking, let me flip back over to this. Okay. You're looking for this part down here, which is your provider. Mine's Shipley Choice, like I said, at 5.187 MCF. It's super easy. You just call the phone number. They'll ask you, obviously, your name, your information, your address. You sign up. Takes one billing cycle, usually, and you'll get on that new rate. You have to pay attention to it. You'll get stuff in the mail. Don't do what I do and throw it away. You got to read it, and they'll tell you, hey, your provider's coming up to change soon. So that's natural gas. It's pretty easy. Um, just take the MCF you use, multiply it by the different rates and see, and we'll switch over to electric here. So on electric, you're always going to have charges from Ohio Edison because they own the lines and maintain them. So for example, my charges were $75.90. That's just part of the game. I got to pay that. We're going to go down one block where it says billing information. I use Ohio Gas and Electric. And that was that $9.95 a month that I pay. But that gave me a 5.99 rate for my kilowatt hour. Now the rate to shop is 9.1. So that's a pretty good discount, which unfortunately it's coming, I think the next month or two it'll be due. So I got to shop around for that too. But you're going to see how much energy you use. So for example, and they have this little chart here too, so you can see, but I used 1,319 kilowatt hours of electricity. If you multiply that by my rate, 0.0599, that took me to $88.96. So if we go back over to our apples to apples, we'll back up here and go to electric, residential, Ohio Edison. I haven't looked at these rates, so I don't even know what they are yet. All right, so for example, here's public power, 6.39 cents a kilowatt for 6 months, but they're going to hit you with that $15 monthly fee. So if you use a lot of power, you got to do the math on this. If you use a lot of power, it might be beneficial for you. If you don't, then you might want to steer away. So we'll go down to one. For example, this is 6.89 cents per kilowatt hour for 6 months for $9.95 a month. So that might be a little bit better for you. But if you keep scrolling down, see a lot of these are having monthly prices to get the cheapest rate. But just say, all right, this one is 7.87 cents a kilowatt hour for 3 months, and it's $100 cancellation fee if you back out early. So you just kind of have to go through and choose. Like I said, you'll call the phone number. It's super easy to be able to switch over. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. And I never knew about this. I just heard about this today. I called Santana to switch my natural gas over, and they said that if I bundle my electric and gas for 3 months, you get a flat rate fee for the gas that you use. So if I use 30 MCF of gas like I did last month, it's $52. If I use 40 the next month, it's $52. For whatever reason, don't ask me, they have a flat rate of $52. For electric, they're saying $76 flat rate. Depends on how many kilowatt hours of electricity you use. So for this last bill, I would have been ahead because I used $88. So yeah, there's just different deals to kind of look out and see what you can get. But I'm going to post this all over, try to help people out, try to share it with your friends. I don't gain anything from this. I just, want to see people save some money. I see people with $500, $600, $700 electric bills. I mean, it's insane. So, that doesn't discount, you got to shut lights and stuff off, but this will save you a lot of money. So appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.